What's up, atheists? Let's talk about Christopher Hitchens. Paul Harrison has put forth his portrayal of Christianity as the ultimate totalitarianism and the source for all totalitarianism, and some of the Christian rebuttals and arguments and complaints against him. And Christians are funny when they encounter Hitchens, because Hitchens does something impressive. He goes into their circles and he works with their premises, and then he comes to conclusions that they don't like, and he argues for them forcefully and with like hideous language, right? And maybe he makes some headway there. I'm willing to say I don't think it's the way to go, and I'm a Dawkins man on this. But when you watch these, listen to what he's saying and how he's arguing his case. He's saying, all right, I'll work with you. I'll accept your premises. Now I want to oppose God because God's terrible in the world that you're depicting. Imagine going to an astrologer and then paying their fee and then saying, all right, Saturn is rising in there, but do you see that Mercury's rising also, and that Io, the moon, I think it's a Jupiter moon, is falling at the same time. So your astrological, convictions are all off, and it's a terrible thing, and I hate Io, and I hate Saturn itself. The astrologer loves it, right? They love it. What do Christian apologists enjoy about atheists? Somebody to hate, somebody to talk to and argue with, somebody that can give them book sales. And Christopher Hitchens does all of that, and what he gets out of it is a small bump in his book sales. Not in all atheist book sales, because he sells to a particular type of atheist that feels great anger, and I can understand that. And so if you are a Hitchens person, I'm not against you, I get it. I'm just saying that, you're going about it the wrong way. You don't want to, not necessarily, but I think most of the time you need to just reject their premises and not say, all right, even if you are right, that's terrible. You want to say, no, there's no God, and we know that there's no God, and look at the evidence, and if there was a designer, then this, but if you're natural and you evolved, then all of this, and we really understand this stuff, or we can at least make efforts to, would you like to join us in science, that sort of thing. That's the better approach, I think. But anyway, however you cut it, Paul Harrison does great work. He publishes a lot of interesting new atheist stuff, and I guess my last complaint against Christopher Hitchens is that he worked for the theists in their war against Iraq, something that carried 1 million lives lost, and it's estimated at less than 200,000 if you just pick if you carefully manipulate which estimates you use. But they're mass graves, huge amounts of destruction and death as a result of his behavior, as well as the theists. He played into the hands of the American theocracy and gave them exactly what they wanted. Second, I don't know what is his position on torture. How is he doing on torture? Because he certainly seems to not have been held accountable for starting the Iraq War, which involved torture and feeding the Bush administration and Cheney administration with everything that they got out of that particular kind of chickenhawk behavior. And he is a chickenhawk. So when he mounts an offense against Christianity on primarily moral grounds, he is making a mistake because he has no moral grounds on which to stand. It's not like he's a pacifist or an activist for human rights or anything. He was an apologist for the Iraq War. He was a hawk. He is not more moral than you or I, and Dawkins is as moral as you or I. So I think that Dawkins has a higher standing upon which to do. Of the new atheists, Dawkins and Dennett are the most moral, have done the most profound science this far in their life. Sam Harris still has yet to prove himself, and didn't get their hands muddied with the Iraq War. Look at what Harris did in his book. He also says about torture, well, what if, you torture somebody and then you save 100 lives? Wouldn't that be great? As if there's some magic room in which you're hitting somebody and each time you hit them, a life springs up somewhere else. That's not how these things work. That's not how our intelligence works. It's not how morality works. And is it too much for me to say that aggressive wars built off false information achieved through torturing people with the intent of getting false information, that's immoral, and that people that make moral claims and moral arguments that have supported that and haven't retracted it have no standing upon which to do this? I say this as an atheist, and ultimately I agree with Christopher Hitchens that there is no God and that religion is false. But why accept their premises? And then, I don't know. So enough said. I just wanted to put my 2 cents in. Peace.